to speak to dealing with this as an issue, or perhaps to re-emphasize some of the things that we've already talked about?
Well, I think that one thing that all of us should do, you know, I mean, at an intellectual or purely academic level, I think we should read more about the state of Black America, and particularly the history of Black people. I'm again amazed at how much we don't know. We think we know a lot, but how much we don't know about the history of African American men in this country. And it's more than just who invented what and who was the first to get to the North Pole or South Pole or whatever, but those other things that are very, very critical to understanding how we got to the state that we're in. I also think that we need to stop listening to some, you know, popular pundits who seem to perpetuate stereotypes that may not be true. For example, we mentioned the issue about drugs in this country. If I were to target a drug treatment program right now, I would probably get suburban housewives who are on alcoholism, who are making a lot of money, or their husbands are in many cases. I think those are some of the most at-risk people in our culture. Surely Black males are at risk, but I think that we have to we don't want to, you know, perpetuate the stereotype that these are the most dangerous people in our culture. These are the people who are going to kill you in a dark alley at night. There's other peoples who are probably even more dangerous than that in our society.
Very good. And of course, Dr. Winbush, looking at all of these issues and looking at some of the proposed solutions, what do you think our national leaders are? Can you identify any persons who might be identified as national leaders? What ought their responsibility to be to bring this to the attention of people nationwide?
Yeah, well, I always resist talking about who, you know, national Black leaders are. I mean, probably on those lists would be people like Jesse Jackson, you know, whomever. I think that leadership takes place. You know, I always tell young Black people, you got to look in the mirror for who your leader is, and I really believe that too. I think that I think enough has been said. You know, we started, maybe we've come full circle. I think that we know what the problems are right now among Black, you know, males in this society. I would probably say that the three things that if I could tell people, which I have, it would be education, education, education.
There's nothing more important than education.
Not as far as I'm concerned, no.
And of course, as the director of the Vanderbilt Black Johnson Cultural Center, you are doing everything that you can within where you are to try to make sure that people have a better understanding of this issue as we have here today.
I try to educate myself as well as people who come there, you know, about the issues relative to African American culture and life.
And what is, when you look at the education institutions, not necessarily Vanderbilt or any particular educational institution, but what ought educational institutions do in order to try to, over the last couple of minutes that we have, in order to try to at least deal with this as an issue, if it is educate, educate, educate?
Well, the whole purpose of education in American society is to, you know, perpetuate, quote, good citizenship. Unfortunately, we've only seen educational systems that do that primarily for white Americans. I mean, the curricula of most schools in our country are like self-esteem curricula for whites. I think that we need to have more self-esteem curriculum for African Americans as well. There's a congratulatory way that history is presented in this culture. It's saying that everything that was good is white, everything that is bad is of color. And I don't think that's true. And I think that I have seen young Black people, when you start teaching them about who really came over here with Christopher Columbus, what actually occurred, some of the works of Denmark Vesey and some of the people I'm sure that you know about, that their eyes brighten up. They want to hear more. And I think that that insatiable history that all children have needs to be taught more to young people in our public school systems.
Very good. And Dr. Winbush, let me thank you, the audience, for coming by and giving us that very, very important information today. And let me encourage you to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.